Imagine this. You sit down with your partner to discuss a recent argument, and they look you straight in the eyes and say, "I never said those hurtful things to you. You must be imagining them." You feel a knot in your stomach as you felt feelings and experiences are dismissed, making you question your own sanity. In another situation, when you proudly share something you achieved, your partner responds by making fun of you and putting you down. They undermine your achievements, making you doubt your abilities and leaving you feeling inadequate and small. Apologies become your default response, even when you haven't done anything wrong. Deep down, you know something is profoundly not okay, but you struggle to put your finger on it. Psychologists use the term gaslighting to describe a specific type of manipulation. It occurs when someone tries to make you doubt your own reality, memory, or beliefs. They may deny things that actually happened or twist conversations to confuse you. Gaslighting is a sneaky form of manipulation, and it's always dangerous. Even small instances of questioning your own judgment or reality deliberately caused by someone else can have a lasting impact. In this video, I'll explain gaslighting in more detail and offer practical tips on how to recognize, address, and protect yourself from the harmful behavior. Gaslighting takes its name from the 1944 film Gaslight, in which a man tries to convince his wife that she is going insane. One of the tactics he employs is randomly dimming the gas lights in their house. Despite the woman's perceptions of the changes in light, the man adamantly denies any abnormalities, causing her to doubt her own perception. Over time, this term gained recognition within the field of psychology. Gaslighting is a sneaky problem. It happens in relationships, both personal, like with a mean spouse or bossy parent, and professional, like with a boss or a co-worker who tries to control you. It's tricky because the person being gaslit often doesn't even realize it's happening. Basically, gaslighting involves two people. The gaslighter feels powerful when they have control over the other person. They make the other person doubt themselves by denying things that happened or twisting conversations.
If I could only get inside that brain of yours and understand what makes you do these crazy, twisted things.
Gregory, are you trying to tell me I'm insane?
The person being gaslit really wants to keep the relationship, so they start to think they must have misunderstood or got it wrong. This keeps happening and they start to doubt themselves more and more. They become more and more dependent on the gaslighter, who seems to know exactly what's going on. For example, I had a friend who would always cancel plans at the last minutes. Every time I expressed my frustration, she would respond by saying, "You are too sensitive. It's not a big deal if I cancel." But was that really true? Why did it bother me? The feeling that my friend didn't value our plans and disregarded my feelings slowly transformed into the belief that I was overreacting. It wasn't until I discussed this situation with another friend that I realized how twisted it was. My friend was trying to shift the focus away from their consistent cancellations in a toxic manner. This highlights that anyone can fall victim to gaslighting. Even though I am generally strong and confident when it comes to close friendships, we can all be vulnerable. Gaslighting is a form of emotional manipulation. For instance, someone may want to convince their friend to attend an event they are not interested in, And they might say things like, "Why won't you come with me? I've always supported you and now you are letting me down." Gaslighters want to make others feel uncertain and dependent on them. They do this to gain control and boost their own confidence. For example, imagine a friend who always makes you doubt yourself and your choices. They might say things like, "You can't do anything right," or "You are too sensitive, it's your fault." Over time, you start to believe them and rely on their opinions. This gives the gaslighter more power over you. Gaslighters often engage in this behavior unconsciously rather than intentionally. Sometimes people become gaslighters because they didn't receive enough emotional support when they were young. Their parents may not have paid enough attention to their feelings, which made them feel insecure. As a result, they may have learned to manipulate others subtly to get the validation they crave. Gaslighting becomes a powerful tool for them to control and undermine others. It is a manipulation technique commonly used by individuals with narcissistic personality disorder. But it's not exclusive to narcissists. Both the gaslighter and the victim can exhibit learned behavior patterns. Individuals may also unconsciously adopt gaslighting behaviors when they have experienced similar treatment in their past. If this behavior is reinforced and rewarded with the gaslighter feeling more empowered, it becomes a deeply ingrained pattern. Let's say a person cheats on their partner, and the partner finds it out. Instead of focusing on their own mistake, the cheater might turn it around and say, "Why were you snooping? Don't you trust me?" This makes the partner feel guilty for discovering the truth. Over time, the partner might even blame themselves for the cheating. Gaslighting is difficult because we often don't realize it's happening. It's a sneaky process that involves seemingly small things. People who are highly susceptible to gaslighting are deep down very insecure. But again, because people are often vulnerable and insecure in their closest relationships, anyone can become a victim of gaslighting. Recognizing gaslighting can be crucial in protecting yourself or someone you know. It starts, for example, with a dismissive feeling. "What an unpleasant remark, but maybe you don't mean it that way." Or the thought, "Hey, he said something completely different last time. Well, it must be me." In short, you start doubting your own perceptions. First signs may include constantly apologizing for everything and defending a gaslighting person to others. However, these signs don't necessarily mean that gaslighting is happening. But if you recognize many of them, it's a good idea to take a closer look at the relationship. The gaslighter might outright deny events or experiences that have taken place, causing the victim to doubt their own memories and perceptions. They may question the victim's sanity or accuse them of making things up. Example, "I never said that. You must be imagining things." Gaslighters twist facts, selectively withhold information, or present false narratives to confuse and disorient their victims. They may distort the truth or fabricate stories to make themselves appear more credible. Example, "You are taking things out of context. You misunderstood what I meant." Gaslighters aim to erode their victims' self-esteem and confidence by constantly criticizing, belittling, or mocking them. They may make derogatory comments, insult their abilities, or mock their emotions. Example, "You are too sensitive. Can't you take a joke? Stop overreacting. During your birthday party, you give a speech expressing how happy you are with everyone. Afterward, your mother says goodbye in a cold manner. The next day, you call her. I am really hurt by the fact that you ignored your father and me, she says. At first, you defend yourself and say that you didn't personally address anyone. But we are not just anyone. We are your parents, she angrily responds. Throughout the day, you start thinking more and more, how rude of me not to have thought about them. This is how the intimidating gaslighter makes you feel guilty. Imagine this. Your loved one goes silent for days, without contacting you. Just as you start feeling frustrated and considering whether this relationship is right for you, he suddenly appears with a bouquet of flowers or a message announcing a reservation at your favorite restaurant for that evening. When you express your annoyance at their previous lack of communication, they respond defensively, saying, "But I'm here now, aren't I? Don't complicate things. Let's have a fantastic evening together." This situation showcases a form of gaslighting called intermittent reinforcement. The gaslighter plays with your emotions by alternating between treating you poorly and making you feel like your relationship is incredibly special. He engages in negative behavior like ignoring you for days, and then counterbalances it with positive gestures, such as surprise gifts or special plans. This constant switching creates confusion and uncertainty within you. By manipulating your emotions in this way, the gaslighter maintains control and makes it challenging for you to trust your own judgments. The process unfolds in stages, gradually pulling someone down. Let's consider the story of a young woman from my practice. She had a boyfriend who was very jealous. He questioned why she frequently went out with her colleagues and why she dressed provocatively. At first, she simply believed she enjoyed socializing and having fun. However, as time passed, her perspective shifted. She started thinking more and more, I might be going out too often. Perhaps I am not giving him enough attention. In order to please him, she started spending less time with her friends. As a result, she became socially isolated, felt lonely, and exhibited symptoms of depression. This example illustrates how far things can go. In summary, be cautious of these warning signs: constant self-doubt, expressive self-blame, confusion in your relationship, engaging in unproductive arguments, uncertainty about your thoughts and beliefs, frequent apologies, justifying your partner's behavior, dissatisfaction with your own life, and sensing that something isn't right without being able to pinpoint it. If you suspect that you are being gaslighted or notice someone else experiencing it, here are some strategies to help address and protect yourself from this harmful behavior. First of all, trust your instincts and don't let anyone make you doubt your reality. You're the author of your own story. Give yourself permission to feel what you feel. Gaslighters often try to make you doubt your reality, but staying true to your own perceptions, you can regain your sense of self. Acknowledge that what you feel is what you feel, so that you can take whatever action you need to take to feel better. Another way is to share your doubts with a third party, like a good friend who can provide a more objective perspective and assess whether a criticism or judgment is valid or if there is a different perspective to consider. Discussing your experiences with others can help provide perspective, support, and reassurance. But if your self-esteem is completely shattered and you no longer dare to trust your own perceptions, it is wise to seek help from a therapist. Once you recognize gaslighting, you can train yourself to respond in a different way. If you notice an attempt to gaslight, stop the conversation and maybe point out what the person is doing. Clearly communicate your feelings, needs, and boundaries to the gaslighter. Stand firm and assert your right to your own reality. Establishing boundaries can help protect your emotional well-being and prevent further manipulation. Example: I won't tolerate being spoken in that way. I deserve respect and honesty. If you are deeply involved in such a relationship, it's certainly not easy. It may result in the relationship ending. However, this is not always necessary, but if you truly want to break free, you need to be willing to take that step. Only then you can truly set boundaries. In the meantime, if you find this video helpful, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing to support this channel and help me continue creating content like this. Thank you for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.